In women's soccer, the Golden Bears saw their 7-game winning streak come to an end Wednesday with a 2-1 loss to 21st-ranked Slippery Rock. Entering today's game against 9th-ranked Cal, KU owns an 8-4 record that puts the team in 4th place in the PSAC. As for KU field hockey, the Golden Bears fought hard against undefeated and top-ranked Shippensburg Tuesday night, but lost 3-1. This loss dropped Kutztown to 5-6 with a 2-3 PSAC mark heading into today's affair at Mansfield. The KU women's golf team will close out the fall season this weekend at the PSAC Championships in Hershey, while KU swimming begins the 2013-14 season at Mansfield, and the bowling team begins its season at the KU Fall Baker Invite. For more information and daily updates about the Golden Bears, log on to kubears.com. Our first guest this week on the KU Gold Rush Report is KU Athletics Equipment Manager Keith McCarthy, better known around these parts as Radar. Radar, great to see you. Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks for having me today, Steve.
I guess the first question is, where does the nickname Radar come from?
Came from my days at Widener, where I was their equipment manager, worked with their baseball team, oversaw the facilities, helped their alumni donation. I always got my work done before I went home. Everything always got done on time.
Just like Radar and MASH, huh?
Yep.
I know you have a lot of responsibilities here. Let's kind of break it down a little bit. Let's start with uniforms and equipment.
Uniforms is probably the area we spend the most time with. We have a lot of really, really nice uniforms, and especially now that a lot of our teams are wearing Nike, we spend a lot of time washing them, keeping them clean, fixing the rips and things like that on them. Equipment, football is our busiest sport when it comes to equipment, with the helmets, the shoulder pads. We work real closely with sports medicine, with head injuries and things like that.
You talk about uniforms. Is there practice gear involved for some teams as well that you have to take care of?
Correct. Just about all the teams do get a practice gear or get at least a laundry loop. We do anywhere between 15 to 25 loads of laundry every night.
Wow. Let me get to my house over the weekend and get some work done for me. What about your responsibility with the fields here at KU?
It's nice. Football's is nice having a grass field for us, at least for home games. Cheney's the only school with a grass field for football. Grass fields give us a problem at times when it comes to the uniforms because of the grass stains. Baseball and softball give us the dirt stains. Turf's nice except for football. Since they're rolling around on the ground, we get a lot of field paint stains. But we have it nice here with our facilities and keeping them looking good.
Do you have any responsibility for the fields themselves, or does someone else take care of that?
Just setting up of the pylons and things like that I take care of, but the lawn, the cutting of it, the lining, as we call it, the haircut for the football field, that all gets done by facilities.
I know you also work with facilities in terms of the football press box, for instance, and basketball, the microphone, the PA system. What are other responsibilities you might have?
The sound system, the scoreboard, that's real important for us, but we take pride in it. We take pride in making sure our facilities look good. Between myself, my assistant Scott, we like Kutztown to look good on game day. We like people to see it and be like, wow, this place is nice. Other teams to come in, other equipment managers to come in. But it takes a lot of hard work, but it's worth it for me. I enjoy the time I put in. I enjoy the hours. I enjoy making sure everything looks good and people are proud of our facilities.
And you mentioned, Scott, your assistant. You can't do this alone, can you?
Nah, and this year we're lucky. I have a great assistant, Scott. He's been with me for 5-6 years since I've been here. And then I have, hands down, the best student staff I've ever worked with in this business.
All right, Radar, it's great to have you. We know you do great work behind the scenes a lot of times, and keep it up here at Kutztown.
Thanks, Steve.
Keith McCarthy, our first guest this week. When we come back, we'll talk to KU Hall of Fame inductee Sarah Brandon Woodward on the Gold Rush Report right after this. Welcome back to this week's KU Gold Rush Report. I'm Steve Degler. My next guest is one of the inductees into the KU Athletics Hall of Fame this November, Sarah Brandon Woodward, class of 2007, to be inducted for women's volleyball, where she was a 4-time All-PSAC selection and also a second-team All-American. Sarah, thanks for joining us this week.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Congratulations, first of all, on the honor going into the KU Athletics Hall of Fame, and what does it mean to you?
I think I was very taken back when they called. For me, it's such a great honor. I always hoped that it would happen. I didn't imagine it would happen for me, but I know that it means a lot to me and my family.
Now, as I mentioned, you graduated in 2007, so it's been a relatively brief time since you were playing here at Kutztown and now going into the Hall of Fame. Being so fast, is that something that has surprised you a little bit?
Yeah, I think that definitely surprised me. I know that when I told my family about it, they were, I think, even more surprised than I was, but definitely something I think I'll always cherish. It's nice to have it happen so soon.
Let's go back a little bit then. How did you become interested in the sport of volleyball?
I was always athletic, tried kind of all the different sports that were available, and then when I hit middle school, it was a new sport that was offered. A lot of my friends were doing it, so it was kind of one of those things that, sure, why not? And it ended up being a perfect fit and kind of the only sport that I really wanted to continue to play.
Is it a sport that's difficult to learn, the nuances?
I think it is. I think there's a lot more that goes into it than people might assume. I know my husband and I go back and forth about how much of a real sport volleyball is compared to football. And for me, I think people that don't play it competitively just don't understand all of the little pieces that go into the game.
When you look back to your recruiting period, what was the thing about Kutztown that felt like the right fit for you?
I think the fact that it wasn't too far from home, but it was far enough for me to get my independence, and I felt very comfortable from the moment we arrived at Kutztown. I remember when my dad and I drove out for my visit, and it was snowing, at least a foot of snow on the ground, and I thought, I can't come here. I can't go somewhere where it's snowing. And after meeting with Coach Gump and seeing the area and kind of the university, it felt like something that I couldn't have imagined myself anywhere else.
You guys had a lot of success in your 4 years. You were 85-41. You got to a PSAC Final Four. You won the East 3 times. What are some of your best memories of playing volleyball here at Kutztown?
Just, I think, advancing the program and kind of going to new levels, and also just the people. I played with a great group of girls. I'm still close with a few of them, and just being surrounded by wonderful people is really what I remember, and how I was having fun.
We're visiting with Sarah Brandon Woodward, class of 2007 at Kutztown. She'll be inducted in the KU Athletics Hall of Fame this November. Sarah, you still hold some records there. Look at the numbers, 1,840 career kills, which is 9th in PSAC history as well. What do those numbers mean to you, even just a few years back?
I still kind of look back and I think, really, that I did all that? To me, it's amazing, and it's still kind of check in every once in a while to see if anyone's getting close, but I think it just means we had a great team that I worked with. I was part of a great group of girls that really worked well together. So it definitely wasn't just me. Everybody else helped me with that.
I want to get back to something you mentioned earlier. You said about advancing the program. Over your 4 years, how far do you think the program did advance?
I think we made some great strides. I really think we took Kutztown to a different level, more notoriety. I think it helps them with recruiting. I think just kind of putting them on the map, so to speak.
Well, you were a true student athlete. You had a 3.70 GPA, and you also won quite a few academic awards while you were here at Kutztown. What does that mean to you in addition to your success on the volleyball court?
I think that overall, as much as I enjoyed playing volleyball, and that was kind of what drove me to Kutztown, I think for me it was always about academics. I knew volleyball wasn't going to be my career, and that eventually volleyball would end, but I'd always have my academics to fall back on. So for me, that was very important.
Well, in 2007, you were not only KU's Senior Athlete of the Year, you were the Senior Scholar Athlete of the Year as well. Which one meant more to you?
I think Scholar Athlete, I definitely didn't expect that. I'm always, I think, taken back by people recognizing what's going on in my life, because for me, you just kind of put your head down and you keep going. You do what you do, and I don't expect to be recognized or expect any attention for it, so I think anything like that is always nice.
After you graduated from Kutztown, you also earned a master's in counseling psychology. So what are you up to today, Sarah?
I actually do assessments for the state. I work independently for them, helping them get people onto waiver services and getting them access to the services they need to their daily lives.
So when you look back at the overall picture now at Kutztown, taking the volleyball, taking the academics, and where you are now, how important was KU in your personal and professional careers?
It gave me everything. I met my husband there. I've met my best friends there. For me, my life would not be the same, or I would not be as happy as I am if I hadn't gone to Kutztown.
Well, we want to congratulate you once again. It's quite an honor for you, and we'll see you here on campus in November when you're inducted in the KU Hall of Fame.
Okay, sounds good.
Sarah Brandon Woodward, our guest. Also thanks to Radar Keith McCarthy, the equipment manager here at Kutztown. When we come back, second half kickoff from Shippensburg for the Golden Bears coming up next right after this.